We now welcome Brady Sanders into Game Plan, the sophomore standout. Can we call you a standout this season for the Texas Longhorns?
I mean, you could say whatever you want to say.
I think, though, you're showing some of that presence. And when we talk about your role, though, and what you do, there's a lot of things that you see what you do on the court that doesn't always show up on the box score. So what would you say your role is? What do you try to do for this team every time you go out?
I just try and bring energy, make the hustle plays, kind of do all the little things that sometimes go unnoticed, but to me and to the team, I know they're important, so I just try to do all the little things.
How do you feel, though, that some of those things, they do go unnoticed?
I mean, as long as it's contributing to the team, it doesn't really bother me. As long as I'm helping us get a win, I'm not the type of person to where I'm like, oh, I need all the attention. Sometimes I go under the radar, and that's fine with me as long as we're getting the win.
But you're coming from high school basketball a few years ago where you are the central focus of your team. You're scoring a lot of points, grabbing a lot of rebounds, getting a lot of assists. So how did you make that transition to the type of player you are now?
It's just accepting your role. It's a new team. I knew coming in, and especially getting the new coach, my role was going to change. And I think that's just something that you accept, and you either fully accept it and fulfill it, or you're going to struggle your whole career.
When do you think you won over this new coaching staff with Karen Aston?
I think halfway through the season last year is when they finally started getting confidence in me. Since I was out the whole year before, they didn't know what type of player I was or anything like that. So I think I did a good job proving myself that I'm an energy player. I do all the little things, and I think that I bring that every day in practice. So just having that confidence from them now has made this season a lot easier.
Well, you talk about the injury, and you look back to that, your first year on campus. Now, in hindsight, what can you say that you learned or what developed you went through with that year from the sidelines, just watching and observing?
I mean, from just watching the team play, like you could tell college is completely different from high school basketball or like the select teams you play on. It's a different level of physicality, and just the pace of the game is completely different. And just from watching practice, like I knew mentally I was going to have to be prepared every day.
What do you think the opposition says about Brady Sanders after they get through a game going up against you?
Hopefully, I hope they say that that girl never stops. She plays 40 minutes. She's going to keep going at you, even if her shot's not falling, and she's an energy player for the other team.
You get under their skin just a little bit?
I feel like I'm really annoying because I talk a lot, and when, say we make a good play against the other team, I'm the person that kind of rubs it in the other team's face. Not on purpose, but I just get so excited for my teammates, so it just kind of comes naturally.
It's just like your own energy. You're not necessarily talking trash. You're just enjoying the moment. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. How do you think your team responds from that?
Well, I know they love it because they come to expect it from me now. They always talk about my fist pump and stuff. But
we saw the leg kick recently, I believe. It was against Kansas. Was that right, after drawing the charge?
Yeah.
You know you actually kicked her, don't you?
No, I don't, but I can't control what I do. Like, I just get so excited and caught up in the moment. Like, some people try and be like, oh, I'm going to fist pump after this shot or when this happens, but literally something just comes over me and I can't control what I do.
Has it been that way forever?
Yes. Basketball, I just have a huge passion for it. So when I'm playing, and even if it's not me doing something good, I just get so excited for my teammates. So it just kind of happens.
Is there anything you do that you think may annoy your own teammates?
Probably me talking. In practice and games, I never stop. And sometimes I'm probably just repeating things over and over again. But I'm just a talkative person.
Well,
so.
It's funny because when you watch the game and the audio picks up someone from court, it's always you. I mean, it really is always your presence. As far as what you mean to this team, though, when you get away from the court, how much are you talking in the locker room when you're not actually together on the court in a game situation?
Well, I'm actually a pretty quiet person, like when I don't know people, but since I'm usually around my team, I guess I kind of talk a lot still, but with all the outgoing personalities on our team in the locker room, it's like you have to yell to get your voice heard. So in the locker room, it's just like a fight to get your opinion and word out there. So you have to talk a lot if you want to be heard.
But Coach Aston even said last week on this show that she wants even more of that vocal leadership from you and from the guard specifically. What else do you think you can do in that leadership role?
I think just embrace it every day in practice, start there, and then eventually that's just going to carry over to the game. With Chaz being out, I feel like I have to step up because she is a huge leader on this team. But with her being back, I just feel that I don't need to take a step back of being the vocal leader. I still need to push forward with that. Yeah. And I feel like people on the team respond to me. So it's just something that I need to embrace and make sure I do that every day.
How comfortable are you with that role?
I'm becoming way more, this year, drastically more comfortable than last year. Last year, I was still just trying to find my role. But now, this year, I've just come to an understanding. I think I fully understand it. So it makes it a lot easier to take a leading role on the team.
And then when we see this team, when everything is clicking, you guys are outstanding. We've seen the moments, though, where you come out and you're flat and it's not working your way. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? Like, what is happening to get you from one performance where you're on to that other performance where it seems like most of the team is flat?
I mean, that's hard to say. I don't think there's just one set answer for that. We're still struggling with it. It's something that we go into practice thinking about every day because we have a part usually in the second half between 16 and 8 minutes where we seem to kind of die down. Mm-hmm. So through the second half of practice, we're like, okay, this is usually when we get flat, we need to make the conscious effort to bring more energy, talk more. And so I think just collectively as a whole, just making that effort, being aware of those times and to not let one mistake escalate into more.
And finally, when everything does click and when you have this type of effort and intensity really consistently, what do you think this team can be this year?
I mean, I don't think there's a limit on what we can be. I think we beat ourselves in the games that we've lost. The other team didn't beat us. We made the mistakes that led them to that. So I think if we play how we can play, no one can beat us.